a man can see the result even prior to the action that he takes, he is none other than the divine, right? So, but what we are doing is we are just going behind the worship and looking for compensations. That is the difference in the result, what we are getting for our action. Thank you so much for enlightening us with Swamiji's concept of cause and effect philosophy, sir. We are also blessed to have your research experience as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
So next is our concluding speech. We have with us today Professor Muthu from Qatar. He is an instrumental engineer from MIT Madras. He is the coordinator for Qatar Sky Yoga Center. He has been with Vethathirian for almost 30 years. He is passionate in conducting sky courses in English and in Tamil in his own style, which this generation is looking for. Not just for the elders, he conducts courses even for the children as well. We are very happy to have you with us today in Consciousness 360 for giving the conclusion speech on cause and effect. Sir, thank you so much.
May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. Be blessed by the divine. Sincere pranams to our group. Respected Dr. Rabindranath, Dr. S.Letchoumanane, brothers and sisters who have joined these two sessions. Actually, today we have real enlightenment lecture from Dr. S.Letchoumanane. Really, it was a 360-degree about cause and effect, because he started with the fundamentals up to the ultimate understanding what everyone should have about cause and effect. He started his speech with a basic question about imprints, how imprints are taking place, which is every thought, action, it is something similar to the wave theory, and any wave originating from any source impact the receiver with its characteristics fully. And every thought, every action gets imprinted within us. And particularly he mentioned that autonomous nervous system, central nervous system, in addition to the universal magnetism. And then he explained why cause and effect is required to shape the human being. Even personality, which is conditioned by the imprints of present life and also inherited imprints. But he also highlighted many of the people ignore cause and effect. And he has quoted a poem from Thiruvaimozhi, and which the translation also he said, we all have to go beyond the wisdom of sensual pleasures so that we can detach ourselves from the clutches of sensual enjoyment. Otherwise, we can't liberate from the cycle of birth. We also have to come out of ego, which is attached to our physical body. Otherwise, we can't liberate from illusionary sensual pleasures. And he also suggested, he also gave a solution, limited method, which is to be followed on sensual enjoyments. Then he jumped to how it works. That also he explained how flawlessly, how constantly cause and effect works. And he has given a beautiful example of seeds of spinach, which can germinate in 5 days, whereas coconut seed takes 5 months to germinate. And that is how cause and effect, it will manifest at appropriate time. But people misunderstand the cause and effect theory, and people think that it doesn't work. And for that also he quoted a poem, Siru Thavaru Peruntumbam Kandu. That means at times a tiny little fault can cause immense suffering. And he has given a beautiful example of a weight balance, where is a commodity is there and weight is there. Yes, small, already if it is a 1 kg commodity, 995 gram of commodity is there, and I make a mistake of 5 gram, and that weight balance turns on the other side. And that is how a small fault can give immense suffering. That doesn't mean cause and effect is a failure. It works flawlessly. He emphasized that. And also, he also quoted a poem from Patinathar, how to have this cause and effect in our day-to-day life. We have to bring the awareness of cause and effect always, and whatever we do. And like he gave an example of a girl carrying a mud pot on head with swinging hands, not even holding it. And that awareness is required for all of us, so that we know what we are doing from morning to night. And also he has highlighted what are the problems today with the people in understanding or implementing cause and effect. I think he has quoted two examples. One is a divine worship, which failed to convince people about cause and effect. Idol worship, it is a place of reverence, and common people fail to understand the principle of idol worship. So our philosophers gave a story that if you do good things, you go to heaven, and if you do bad things, you go to hell. Unfortunately, that doesn't convince in today's generation. And also the second point, he also said the advent of parihar system, what is existing for centuries. And he quoted with a story of affected farmer and how the parihar system worked. And people believe that they can do sins and then they can go for parihar after that. And unfortunately, we can't change the cause and effect. When they suffer only, they go to prayers instead of understanding the significance of cause and effect. Again, he concluded with a lot of emphasis how important the cause and effect by quoting Tirumular poems like Velakine Yetri. That means enlightening us the need to understand cause and effect. And the consciousness is function of order of divine. When one understands this law, he will analyze all his actions so that no pain is given either to self or others, either to the body or the mind, either now or the future. And he also quoted another poem in which he mentioned the path is created. The path is the divine cause and effect. But if we deviate from the path, we will get thorns on our path. Life of every individual varies in this society in so many ways, and understanding, we have to understand and we have to forgive the wrongdoers. Otherwise, we are deviating from the noble way, and the realization of truth about cause and effect, we will not be able to realize it. And in order to achieve it, the mind should be in constant awareness. That is what he concluded his speech. And let me also conclude by quoting a two-line poem from Maharishi. It says that Kuri Tavari Tupaki Vedipadai Okkum Neri Tavari Seyum Sayalin Vilaivu. The English translation is, effect of wrong action is as same as explosion of a gun wrongly deviating from the target. Such is the effect of wrong actions, and that is a key essence of cause and effect we need to apply from morning to night with constant awareness. And Maharishi has given us all the practices which are required to achieve, to implement cause and effect in our day-to-day life. So with this, I conclude my speech. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Be blessed by the divine.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Very crisp and clear concluding speech. Thank you so much for that, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I have an announcement before the discussion, the Q&A session. So in the chat box, we have, there is a link. You all can, if you want to go through the earlier, earlier sessions of Consciousness 360, you can go through the YouTube channel, which is available. I'm pasting the link in the group. And if you want to be in this journey of consciousness, you can join us on WhatsApp group of Consciousness 360. There is a link being pasted in the chat box for that as well. Thank you so much. And now the session is open for discussion. Our panel is available here. You can ask your questions. You can raise your hands to ask your questions. Yeah. So we have with us B. Vethathirian, sir. You can, you're unmuted. You can ask your question, sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Balagasamudin, sir. I am from Bangalore. You may be remembering, I met you once in Aliyar with my classmates of Vision.
Good. Good.
Yeah, I came to your house with a few students, ladies, sent by Mr. Venkata.
Yeah, I remember.
Just
Good.
2 years back. Sir, it's very well discussed today. And just many times I get one doubt regarding this cause and effect, though I respect Swamiji's concept. Why
Please tell.
this one person who commits mistake only has to be given punishment? Why others have to be given punishment because of his mistake? That's my, in very time I get the confusion.
See, a society is made of many people, not only the individual.
Yeah.
On both sides, we have to understand. Tani manida kutrame samudaya kutram. See, the single person's wrong becomes the social problem. Similarly, the society should be careful enough to educate every individual. So it is a two-way like. Yeah. A small error by an individual affect the whole society. Similarly, the society, when they don't understand their duty of educating the individual the proper way, this affects the individual, not only the individual, but the whole society. See, it is on both sides. So we have to educate everybody. The society will get educated well. Tani manida kuttame samudaya kuttam. It's what something. So the realization of truth should start from the individual. For that, the society also should take every effort to educate people. Then the slow improvement will be there. The society will live in prosperity.
Yeah, just example is we are reading in newspapers that China is the cause for corona.
Yeah.
I'll just explain.
No broadened mind.
Yeah. Because it is given in the researches and all that they only committed like that.
Yes.
So only the China should have been punished. Why all the whole world is being punished? That's what we.
you separate yourself. You separate China from the world.
Yeah.
It is only in the world. So the whole society is to be educated. There should not be a reign of I and my. The ego should vanish from the individual. For that, we have to take every effort to enlighten people. உயர் ஒழுக்கத்தோடு உலகினிலே குழந்தைகளை வளர்க்கும் திட்டம் says. It has to be, this effort should be made from the childhood onwards, not only in India, but in the whole world. That should be, a broad outlook should be there on the cause and effect system. The non-consideration of others that we call the ego will create such a problem. The whole world is to suffer. அறிவறிந்தோர் எண்ணிக்கை உலகில் பெருகி வர வேண்டும், சாமிஜி சொல்றார். The number of enlightened people should grow and expand to the whole world. அறிவறிந்தோர் விளக்கத்தால் அறம் பழக்கமாகும். Because of the enlightened people only, the virtues will prevail in the world, Swamiji says. Okay. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So next we have Dr. Natarajan Sridhar, sir. You can unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
ஐயா வாழ்க வளமுடன் ஐயா.
வாழ்க வளமுடன், doctor.
I have a question.
Please.
The cause and effect system only mean for the human kingdom. or is it mean for animal kingdom also? Because I'm asking this question because we see tedious life cycle for animal kingdom. Uh, one animal is a prey for another one. But will it work for animal kingdom too? This is my question. Yeah.
Very nice question. I'll be pleased to answer this. When we analyze, look into the living system, barring humans, all other living system, from one sense to five sense living being, the nature looks after that to maintain the equilibrium. One species should not uptake the other one. This is called the biological equilibrium. When we understand, for example, I will tell I used to tell as an entomologist, the termite, the female, the queen lays around 6,000 eggs per day. What will be the fate of the world if this goes as such? 6,000 eggs per day. So when they hatch out and come out, the young ones, the termites, become prey to the other animals, just lizard, snakes, and other things. The leftover only will be very small in number. If the whole mass allowed to grow, what will happen? The whole world will be ravaged by this termite. It is maintained in that equilibrium. If snakes are allowed to grow further and further, snakes will overtake. So young snakes and other snakes are taken by other predators. Like that, it is maintained in good equilibrium. This is called the biological equilibrium. No one taught this. Nature itself takes that maintenance of equilibrium. If the another example, if deers are allowed, it will graze all the grains. Where will we go for vegetation? It is regulated by other predators like tiger, leopard, like that. So that equilibrium is the work of nature. But when it comes to humans, the responsibility is given to humans only. He has to think all those things. He cannot go on producing more and more. If I answer further in a scientific way, you will understand better. The seasons regulate the mating, multiplication, and all up to 5 sensed animals. But in the case of humans, estrous cycle, polyestrous human, he has to think that what is his need, what is his goal, where he will go further. All these things can be understood by that. But in the case of other animals from 1 sense to 5 sense, it is regulated. If a cow comes to a heat, means it is coinciding with the vegetations, the rainfall. It will mate only till it gets fertilized. After that, it won't allow for the male to mate with her. Like that, the regulation, we have to think deeply, then we will understand the biological equilibrium. There are animals which mate, which yield twice in a year by annual or annually, like that. But in the case of the Easter cycle, round the year. All these things, when man understands, he will restrain himself from further and further growing through populations. But the goal of life is to understand. I think if I go further, it may take a little more time. I stop with this. Do you understand what I explained, Dr. Natarajan?
Dr. Natarajanaya?
I think is not in line.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. We will go to the next question. We have T.S. Rajaraman, sir. Kindly unmute yourself and you can ask your question. T.S. Rajaraman, sir, you can ask your question.
It's not in the line, I think.
Yeah, you can unmute yourself, please.
Me?
Yes,
Hello,
good
yes,
evening,
sir.
sir. Audible?
Yes,
you are
yes, I am
audible.
at you.
Yes. I am Radharan from Chennai, Parandangal, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Divine, Walkalamadan. Sir, I have been listening to this Consciousness 360 program for a very long time. I got to two basic doubts. Please be kind enough to answer, sir. The one is, why this title is called Consciousness 360? You can simply say consciousness. Why you add a degree there?
To keep oneself aware of this truth, the working of the divine, constantly keep in mind. You are putting yourself into action based on your need. Restrict your mind on the need and see what will be the result if I put myself into action on my own way without giving importance on the result. It will lead only to problems. Constantly, you have to keep your mind on the result by your action. If you don't give any attention towards this, you are influenced constantly through the sensual pleasure, or otherwise called the materialist way of life. You are not considering the result. When the result is bad, you are crying. You are pleading to God, oh God, why do you test me? What wrong I have done? You have done so many things without considering the result. So under 360 degrees, you keep yourself on the divine consciousness. For that only they have given, I feel.
Okay, sir. Very beautiful, fitting reply. Thank you, sir.
Subhabhahini.
The second doubt is,
Thank you so much.
sir, there is one saying in particular religion that if one slaps on one cheek, please show the other cheek. What is philosophy behind this one, sir?
It is only pardoning for their wrong thing. They do not know what they do. Please pardon them. See the example when Lord Jesus was crucified. He is suffering. To test whether he is dead or alive, two fellows come and then pierce Jesus on the flank. By piercing, immediately Jesus look at them. He feels the pain above because of piercing. He pleads to the God, oh God, they do not know what they are doing. Had they known that harming others not good, they would not have done. They did without knowing the result. Pardon them. That is the great value of understanding the divine. Like that, he says, if any blow given to one cheek, show the other, then it will make them to feel, to realize the truth, and then they will correct. For that only it was told like that.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Rabindranath, sir, you want to add on
Yes.
to the question? Yes, sir.
Regarding the 360 degrees, consciousness is divine, and it is present almost everywhere. Where there is divinity, there is consciousness also. And we are not understanding consciousness fully. So to present you the full spectrum of consciousness, where it works in yourself and in your neighbors, in others, in animate, in the inanimate, and the whole field of activity of consciousness is to be understood for a peaceful life, for our achieved goal of world peace in the near future. That's why it is called 360 degrees. And the approach we have made in these last 18 sessions is in different aspects. And I appreciate the greatness of Maharishi in tackling consciousness in all the fields. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We have another hand raise. The president of Hosur Trust, Rangaswamy, sir, you can ask your question. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Subha,
Yes.
am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you're audible.
Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful session, and you have given such a fine, the basics of cause and effect system with a great introduction by Dr. Thavamani, with the summarizing everything Muthu professor has done. So we were really fortunate to have all of you together. And I have a question. Maharishi in 1966 January Anbuli, he has written, nature is full of resources and always provides justice by its cause and effect system. You said mind should be conditioned. Man's mind should be in constant awareness of the functional order of the divine. You have concluded your speech. But what we are seeing today is a pandemic situation, which the whole world is going through it. The cause is yet to be assessed. People are studying and people are suffering, unknown, and untold stories. Every day we are getting, we have no end of their pathetic situation. Now, when this man's conditioned mind will be liberated so that the unnecessary pain resulting habits should be changed. With your long experience and with your long association with our Guruji, can you tell us what is happening and what is the cause and where will it lead to?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. What
Thank
to
you,
say,
sir.
what we enjoy as this viral attack, it is only the result of an action. The action should have been done by not knowing the truth or else ignoring the truth. The first one is innocence, not knowing the truth. The second one, even knowing the truth, people ignore. The result lead only to such calamities. The whole mankind is suffering. It has to bear and find some solution to come out from this miserable thing. Once Swamiji used to say, when very heavy flood goes through the river beyond the limit, everything will be rolled out along with that flood. Likewise, when a single person commits an error, the whole society is affected. What to do? It is a high time for us to find, to understand, and then everybody's mind should be put on that, find some solutions to arrest this. For that, the best thing, keep the mind deep in the divine, and everybody to give out good thoughts that this should slowly come down and mankind be saved. The next step is to the other things we are hearing every now and then to control this virus pandemic.
Thank you, sir. Let us hope and pray for the whole world to quickly recover so that we can win over it. And people say, in a sense that you also said about this materialistic approach of the human beings.
Yeah.
And can we not say that the spiritual practice of inner travel can transform this man's personality so that he realizes his cruelty to the nature, and so that the nature protects us always, it's ready. That is what the nature is full of resources. There is no dearth of resources which are available. And surely a day will come that we will come out of this situation, but we must respect and follow this justice of cause and effect system. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This is what Dr. Rabindranath was telling. 360-degree means you see the whole thing as a wholesome thing. Everything is divine. Everything is governed by that consciousness. Everything leading to a result. Every action leading to. So our mind should be in that. That is what Swamiji calls it as virtuousness. Thank you.
Let me intervene.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Rabindranath again. So here we see only the physical aspect of it and not the spiritual aspect of it. To look into the reason why we are having this pandemic, why God should punish us globally like this. When it is coronavirus, you don't understand. If you think of the earthquake and the floods, natural calamities, Maharishi has explained them. When the collective evil of the whole world increases beyond a limit, it comes out as a natural calamity. And this is a different type of natural calamity to punish the whole erring, accumulated sins of the world. And now at least we should go into, without limiting our search to the physicality, we should go to the spirituality of it. Why? And when we go into it, we will be getting the answers. Rangasamaya, this morning I was also having the same question in me, that this should be raised in this meeting. Thanks for raising it.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor. There are some questions here in the chat box. There's just one question. Maybe corona is also a means of biological equilibrium, and I hope we had the answer for this already. And we have one more question, one last question for the session today. After committed to being aware all the time now onwards, is it possible somehow to avoid the effect of a bad action taken previously?
Rectification only is the way. Once you commit means you have to bear the result. We can take care not to commit further. A remedial measure will help to some extent only. The whole thing cannot be rectified. Once you clap your hand, the sound is imminent. You cannot stop the sound after clapping. This is how we have to realize the truth. Remedial measure means compensation in the right way. After doing all sorts of wrong things, pleading to God, how it is going to help you? Realize this truth. Change our thought. Come out from this egoism. Then we will be always good with the divine nature. This is what he says. You are bound by the sensual pleasure only. What jnana you got all along? Only the sensual limit. Go beyond that. You see the whole governance to be the divine. Everything is in good action and result. You respect that. No problem at all. Then it will be the real enjoyment of life. This is what bliss, the divine bliss. eternal bliss. Always man will be in a very blissful stage. Peace will prevail in him. No harm to no one. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, now before getting into vote of thanks, I have one information. There is the feedback form for this session. The link is given in the chat box. Everybody can fill in this feedback form. This will help us improve the next sessions as well. Thank you so much. Now, I request our World Community Service Center Research and Development Department's Director, Dr. M.V. Rabindranath, sir, to give the vote of thanks for today's session.
One more thing,
Yes,
ma'am. I interfere
Yes, sir.
now. Before
Yes, sir.
Dr. Rabindranath expresses thank, I like to thank all of you. First of all, Dr. Rabindranath and Dr. Muthu and all, Dr. Thavamani and Subhagini, all those who have got linked through this. I'm always thankful. I will be ever thankful to all of you, to the whole world, which is nurturing us to further and further improvement. Thank you. May the divine bless
Thank
you
you
all.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Subhavahini. Dr. Lakshman is my teacher. He is my predecessor. So also he has preceded my vote of thanks. And he has explained, has given the vote of thanks on my behalf. And I fully agree with him. I thank all of you for your share and your wonderful performance. And I have to mention about Dr. Lakshmananne. He is the senior most professor and informed professor, knowledgeable and with a long association with Maharishi. And he is the one who has assembled the 3 volumes of Jnana Kalanjiyam. And he has done so much research. The biggest research in sky system is done by him, and its application is so vast and wide. So his research is a proof of the wave theory, the magnetism working, how the blessings reach the plant, how they get the imprints there, and the plant, how it reacts to it. See, the simple blessings, which may be appearing to be insignificant, but it is taken up by the plant and it is reflected in its whole spectrum, in the not only in the yields of Bendy, but also in the amount of chlorophyll. The height of the plant increases, the total root mass is increasing. These are all physical. Their immunity is increasing. They are able to resist the pests in onslaught, and they are able to even withstand water deprivation. So I request all of you to go into his thesis, and it's how the Maharishi's philosophy, Vethathirian, is explained through this cause and effect system, and see what will be the impact of this research in the world. It is not that only a trained expert yoga person should give the blessings. Even the common man who has no knowledge about this yoga system, when he also blesses his plants, he gets the result. So this is a research study with far-reaching consequences. especially in the present time, where we are going to have exhaustion of the natural resources. Water is going to be scarce, and all the land, fertile land, it is going to, we have spoiled everything, and what is remaining will has to give more yield, and this comes from his research, and it can be followed by everyone. This blessing can be applied to the human also, and our own response to these blessings we all have enjoyed, but we don't give more importance to it. And when we give it, it will be of a game-changing strategy for the world peace. And here in today's talk from Dr. Lakshmana, you have so many significant points explained. The importance of the cause and effect system, why it is not appreciated fully, because of the interval between the cause and the effect. When it is in the same instant, you know it. You just clap a hand, you get the sound. You understand it easily. But you have committed some sin of which the entire world, the family members, the police, the society is ignorant of it. They is not aware of it. And still you pay for the mistake you committed in due course. And when it comes late, nobody notices it. Even the person who suffers doesn't realize the connection between the punishment and the cause. So this is a significant point which he has explained. And idol worship, why it has come and what it has done. Idol worship works and the society is benefited by it, and still there are people who exploit even that idol worship. And the basis for idol worship is inability to understand nature fully, inability to understand the divinity and the abstract aspect of the divinity, the way the divinity works through his creation, that is consciousness. We have to understand it fully. And the Parihar, heaven and hell, now having explored the universe with our space adventures, we are not able to identify where the hell or heaven is. Maharishi has explained it is not outside, it is inside, it is within you. The hell or heaven is within you. This he has explained, and he has also brought out very important point. I just got skid in the way, in my way, a slip. I fell down, but I broke my leg. The femur neck was broken, and the individual is taken to the hospital, and he is not fit for surgery to fix the bone. So what is left for him? He has to be confined to his bed until recovery, until the fracture heals. And even after healing the fracture, he has malunion and he has a disability. He is totally incapacitated for his life. I have seen cases. Why this? Just a slip on the road to turn the events totally. What is this due to? It is, as explained by Professor Muthu, it is 95% of the cause is already there, and you just add 5 more, 10 more, the whole situation turns. The same thing can be applied to the COVID problem also. We have committed so much, and finally, the long oppressed, ignored Chinese, they got the updraft now in the wave. They were in the descent for a long time. Now they are moving upward, and in this, they did something which is causing the outbreak of this thing. So, though it is the origin of the problem is in China, the suffering is for the entire world because of the accumulated causative factors. And this significant thing, we say that we were having good relationship between friends, but a small doubt turns everything upside down. So this is very well explained by Swamiji, Dr. Lakshman's explanation. And a lot more. It is worth listening to the talk again and again, and it will be rewarding. We fail to realize the major part of the tip of the iceberg. We see only the tip. The rest is underwater. Similarly, the external manifestation of our actions is only a tip, but the unseen internal effect of our thoughts or actions or deeds is phenomenal. And the spirituality deals with the unseen, the internal. The thought is a simple one. Its external manifestation is almost negligible, over in instant, but the internal effect creates the non-communicable disorders, diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and the lot. So the unseen is more important than the obvious physically seen. This we have to understand with consciousness, and we will be able to be benefited more, and we will be able to pursue Maharishi's goal to world peace. And I thank Dr. Thavamani and Muthu, especially because they were just called in at short notice, and both of them have responded very well. And Dr. Thavamani, you all will appreciate, she has done her part so well. And as Dr. Lakshman said, Dr. Muthu has given the entire speech in a nutshell, and making my job easier. So I thank God, our Kumaresan for his nice prayer, and Professor Subhavahini for her excellent comparing. And she has taken the meeting very smoothly, nicely, and we are closing in time much earlier also. And I thank her for that. And I thank, as usual, for all the help from Mr. Rangasamy and Dr. Shanmugavel, Janaki Raman, Balachandran, Rajashekar, last but not least, from the R&D department, Kutralam and his team. I thank everyone, and I request all of you to be present with all your friends for the next week meeting also. The next week meeting will be on consciousness nowhere to now and here by our Bangalore colleague, Dr. Rabindranath, the acupuncturist. He is becoming a world citizen with his experience all around the world. We will see yet another phase of consciousness. Thank you, one and all. Continue to come and support us. Thank you. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. It was a very wonderful session today we had. We are excited about the next week's session as well. So we will close today's meeting by the World Peace Prayer.
உலகமெல்லாம் பருவமழை ஒத்தபடி பெய்யட்டும், உழவரெல்லாம் தானியத்தை உவப்புடனே பெருக்கட்டும்.
உலகமெல்லாம் பருவமழை ஒத்தபடி பெய்யட்டும், உழவரெல்லாம் தானியத்தை உவப்புடனே பெருக்கட்டும். பல தொழில்கள் புரிகின்ற பாட்டாளி உயரட்டும், பகுத்துணர்வில் தொகுத்துணர்வு பண்பாட்டை உயர்த்தட்டும். உலகமெல்லாம் பருவமழை ஒத்தபடி பெய்யட்டும். கலகங்கள் போட்டி பகை கடந்து ஆட்சி நடக்கட்டும், கல்லாமை கடன் வறுமை களங்கங்கள் மறையட்டும். கலகங்கள் போட்டி பகை கடந்தாட்சி நடக்கட்டும், கல்லாமை கடன் வறுமை களங்கங்கள் மறையட்டும்.
நலவாழ்வை அளிக்கும் மெய்ஞான ஒளி வீசட்டும்,
நலவாழ்வை அளிக்கும் மெய்ஞான ஒளி வீசட்டும்.
நம் கடமை அறவாழ்வின் நாட்டத்தே சிறக்கட்டும், நம் கடமை அறவாழ்வின் நாட்டத்தே சிறக்கட்டும். நம் கடமை அறவாழ்வின் நாட்டத்தே சிறக்கட்டும், நம் கடமை அறவாழ்வின் நாட்டத்தே சிறக்கட்டும். வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வளமுடன், வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வளமுடன், வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வளமுடன், வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். Thank you.